Hey!
Hey,
We're
g'day,
back with
g'day.
something else.
The exact same thing as we're always doing.
Yeah.
But
Nothing
we're
fresh
back with
from
a
us.
guest.
G'day, guys.
He's back, and that can only mean one thing. We're doing another tier list, and we're finally doing Lothlorien.
I just want to point out, Nick, you are a popular guest on the Noobs channel. We on our last bat rep with you in it, we had some dude comment something along the lines of any video with Nick is an amazing video or something to that extent.
You've got fans, mate.
You've got fans.
Yeah, right.
You have
Yeah,
fans.
right. I'll have to start a fan page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Nick F fan page.
Perfect.
Yeah, good.
All right. Well, let's get stuck right on into it.
I just want to quickly point out Noob's podium in one video.
Yeah, the entire podium in one video. The usurper, the two people I beat, and
the guy that came
place.
second.
Oh,
beautiful.
God.
Controversial tournament's my favorite.
Fucking hell. Can't believe fucking came third.
Hey, you know what? Dora the Explorer didn't show up and go, swipe or no swiping, so I fucking swiped that first place.
You came up after my game and you're like, oh mate, you've done it, you've won first. Wins first after fucking hyping me up. This motherfucker. All right. We're into it now, boys. Lothlorien. Fun. I fucking love Lothlorien. I know got some fans here. Well, you did? Oh, until you got beaten by it at the tournament?
Yeah, against my own fucking army. Beautiful.
Strange seeing an army that you've painted across the table from you, then beating you.
Hurt my soul.
Oh, what a
It's fine. I won the tournament, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you did, mate. But who went undefeated? This guy. All right.
Who won the tournament? This guy. Who didn't bring a display board? That guy.
Oh, that guy.
Oh, Christ. All right. So enough of this bullshit. Not this bullying.
Workplace bullying. Let's go.
We jumped straight in with the Galadriel captain, and personally, I actually quite like the Galadriel captain. I'm a fan. I think they definitely get overlooked, given the named heroes in this list.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, 70 points for a fight 6 captain.
Bang on.
Whew. I mean, mount that boy, and he is looking deadly.
The beauty of him too, similar to the knights, he's got woodland creature and fleetfoot, so he's moving through woodlands at full speed.
Yeah.
Does have a hand and a half sword. A hand and a half sword, not as good as a lance, but can still get some big damage output. If he's got some backup to make sure he wins the fight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Can definitely get some big damage.
Yeah, with 3 attacks and fight 6, like he's 3 attacks on the charge. Even 2 attacks with the hand and a half sword, like 2 attacks. Haldir is very similar in that regard. That 2 attacks, hand and a half sword, does the business. But I think that's where the problem lies for the old Galadriel captain. But to be fair,
there's 2 named heroes.
Yeah.
He comes in a similar points level.
Yeah. Exactly. He comes straight in with the armor and all that kind of stuff. So he's pretty set, like straight up, and then you can give him the shield and get him that D7, which is really interesting.
Yes.
But you shill like 10 more points and you can get like a decked out Haldir or a Rumil.
Yeah. And
it does hurt this boy quite a bit.
Yeah. The only big difference that he has is he does come with March. For people that like March, that's handy. But
the horse as well.
Elves,
that's the big thing.
It's an armored horse is also fun.
Oh yes, very true.
The thing with a lot of the time when you're playing as elves, you don't really want to be marching in places because you just want to sit there and shoot things.
Exactly.
Unless you're playing a kiting game.
Yeah, March is kind of not great for elves. It is really nice to have a mounted hero with March, so you can have your cavalry just piff around the board. That's really, really cool. So that's, I think, where his niche is if you mount him and throw him with some cav, you've suddenly got a whole lot of movement. And a really, really solid boy to be running with those cav.
He definitely shines when you put him on horse. I think if you're going to take him on foot, you just go, I'll move you over and I'll take Haldir or Rumil. But if you're wanting a hero on horse, he is your only option.
Yeah, he's the only option.
He is sensational on horse. And somewhat jumping straight into putting a place for him. If he's on foot, I'm putting him in B tier, but solely for the fact that you can mount him. And I'm not one for mounting heroes. Like, that's something I do very rarely, but solely on that fact, I would chuck him in that like mid-low A tier, because him on horse with the knights.
It is close. I think it definitely depends on the list you're running. Obviously, with all of these tier lists, that's a lot of how they work. But I think personally, I think mounting a captain, like that, this captain specifically, the only mounted hero you can grab. He has March. He's fight 6, hand and a half, 3 attacks on the charge. He does a lot of damage. He can definitely be
fight 6 mounted and running around with fight 5 mounted infantry or models is outrageous. It's disgusting.
The only issue I have with him is that Lothlorien cavalry are a bit shit.
They win the fight, but very rarely do they kill. They fall into that classic elf syndrome of, I'm going to win this fight, but I'm not going to kill you. I'm just going to hit you with a rubber noodle.
But it's worse because they cost so much as well. Like the elf warriors obviously cost quite a lot, but for the price of a knight with a shield, you can basically get 2 warriors on foot. It's rough.
At the end of the day, this fella is a fight 6 hero on an armored horse. Because that's, in my opinion, you're taking him on a horse, or if you're taking a foot warrior or foot captain, you take the named boys. I don't know whether I would ever take him in front of the 2 brothers. But I do agree he is still very dangerous on a horse.
Oh yeah.
Also, I've just realized, watch us release this Lothlorien video and an Orphan comes out, and this is completely out of date.
If Orphan immediately is released out of date before we release this, he's S tier. He's in his own tier.
Orphan's already S tier. We already know that. That's fine.
He's going to be the next mounted hero. Watch that happen.
Oh, God, I'd love that. But yeah, we move on to Haldir, and Haldir's a really interesting one. I really do not know where to put Haldir.
There's 2 models in this that I struggle with, and Haldir is one of them. Like, driving to work, I was sitting there going, where does Haldir sit? Like, he's amazing. Yeah. Is he that good?
The thing is, I'll sit on Haldir and I'll be like, oh, he's all right. He's all right. And then like in the bat rep with Nazgul, he just does work.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't look like he should, kind of thing. Like, I guess he is still fight 6. He's strength 4 with the 2-handed weapon. Oh, well, possible 2-handed weapon, hand and a half.
And unlike his brother, who can't get the hand and a half weapon.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's the damage again is good. He also has strike for those that like to use heroic strike. He's your second striker in this list.
Yeah, one of only 2.
That's right. Yeah, because Rumil can't strike.
Yeah, but to be fair, parry is, in my mind, sometimes better than strike.
It is amazing.
But no, that's the thing. Like, you compare
Haldir's double shot is sensational. Is it called deadly shot?
The deadly shot,
expert shot. Yeah.
Deadly is leggies, but no. Expert shot's solid. Shooting in this game rarely goes off for me. I know it does for you, Sean. You fuck, but but I don't know. Like,
you all want to see some sixes? Watch me shoot.
Oh fuck me, yeah. Look,
I only roll sixes when shooting. Combat, I'm rolling 9.
It's lovely to have those 2 shots, especially on a hero, especially with all that might.
Mightable.
But I think the thing you run into is that you're not really going to be spending that might on shooting with Haldir because he's that expensive. He's that good in combat that you want to be saving it for, strikes and
For that.
heroic combats and that kind of stuff with him, because I think he can do that quite easily.
And another interesting use for his might is one of his special rules, one final blow. If he's slain in combat, he can put 1 strike on every model that he's in combat with.
Yeah.
So my understanding is you can use his might on those strikes. And if he's got 3 left and gets swamped, all of a sudden you might kill bloody 4 models when he dies. I mean, that's fantastic.
I've literally never had that rule go off. The only times I've had Haldir die, especially recently, he barely died at all at Gladstone. He died once and it was from shooting, so he did fuck all there. And then before that, he didn't die either. I've only had him die once in like the 7 or 8 games that I've played with him recently. Like it just doesn't happen apparently. Even when he was D4 in the Necromancer game, he didn't have any problems.
Being a hero that in most cases sits back, shoots. If you're not giving him armor, you're giving him the Elven Cloak. So
or both, to be honest.
Or both. If you're only giving him one of the 2, odds are it really doesn't matter. But like, he's incredible in combat, which is good. But he can sit back and just shoot away with your bow boys, and then your opponent gets to you and goes, "Oh, now I have to deal with a Haldir. How do I do that?"
I agree with that comment. And the other thing too is with Haldir, because he can be your secondary hero in a lot of the lists with Lothlorien. In scenarios like Fog of War and Assassination, you go, okay, you've got to kill Haldir. He's standing at the back with an elf cloak. Come get him.
Yeah.
And you can't shoot him. You can't spell him. You have to come to him. And as you said, when you get there, it's like, okay, I got here. Half my dudes died on the way here, and I took a fate off my hero. Shit, now I've got to take on a fight 6 hero who still has 3 might and strike.
Yeah.
So he's a very handy hero. One of the other things is in the errata he was given Hero of Valor. So as a cheap elf hero, he can take 15 models, and if you like doing yellow alliances and the like, he can be your ally.
Yeah, so big time.
He does certainly have some good points.
He really does. Yeah. We don't normally count in the alliances, but that is definitely like the Hero of Valor in general, like in any list, is still going to be just the more model count. Like that's the thing I struggle with sometimes when I'm making a list with Lothlorien is sometimes I'll just like, I'll take Rumil and I'll take Galadriel or whatever, and then I fill Rumil's warband up and I fill Galadriel's warband up. I'm like, oh shit. Or it's like, maybe I just take Haldir. And then I've got those extra points sitting there that I can throw more units in. Yeah.
Yep.
But no, he is very solid. He is incredibly solid.
He's tough in terms of like when building a list, do you go Rumil or Haldir? That's always
depends
a difficult
on the points,
choice.
but yeah,
there's always a difficult choice I come across.
Personally,
I think he goes upper A tier.
I think he goes there. He absolutely does. His other special rule is nice if you're running a green alliance, but that's the only time. If the only time that really actually ever comes in handy is if you're
allies till the end.
Yeah, the banner from Buddy Aragorn and Theoden. The only time that ever really comes up is if you're running that Legendary Legion.
Yeah.
Or would it count for Fellowship Aragorn? Some people like to ally.
Yeah,
it just says Aragorn.
It would do. Yeah, it is
just Aragorn, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So you could do Elisar as well if you really wanted.
Yeah, would it count for Elisar, or is that not an
Aragorn?
It's still Aragorn.
Aragorn, King Elisar, yeah.
That's true.
I don't know about that one, but certainly Fellowship Aragorn, and then obviously that Legendary Legion. I mean, free banner.
Yeah, free banner, 12-inch free banner on a 2-attack model with fight 6. You're definitely using that for sure. But yeah, it's a kind of a bit of a nothing special rule for when I use him, because I'm never usually allying Aragorn or Theoden, but
I don't either.
Neither is Final Blow though, to be honest. Again, he barely dies for me, or if he does, he's dying.
It's one of those cool rules of like, this might show up once every like 15 games or something, if you're lucky. And if it goes off, sweet.
Yeah, sick. You killed a couple of models.
Yeah.
It's like it's very similar, although you have to die with Haldir to have it go off. It's Vrashku's little dagger. Sharku.
Oh, Sharky. Yeah.
Yeah, Sharku's little riding dagger. Yeah. Yeah. I love Haldir, but I think next boy, Rumil,
brother,
I like a little bit more.
Oh, I agree. I tend to agree.
One rule sets it off for me.
Yeah, mate. Swift parry.
Oh, why is it so good?
What a special rule.
Anti-banner, essentially.
Oh, mate, there was a comment section on, I think it was like one of the pages anyway. I think it might have been the Australian League. Can't remember, but it was someone talking about models that don't really appear anymore, and it was like Erkenbrand and all that kind of stuff because they've changed that kind of stuff. And someone said Rumil, and the amount of people that were like, "What are you talking about?" Like, this dude, like, he's like, "Oh, Rumil doesn't have strike anymore." It's like he doesn't need it. He's got swift parry.
Yeah, he
like,
doesn't need it.
Oh my god! Like bear in mind, like, yeah, occasionally you'll come up against, fight 7 or fight 8 model or whatever, something ridiculous.
All 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah. And you throw Rumil in, and sometimes you swift parry to a 6.
I did that recently.
Yeah, I did that against you. Against the fucking necromancer. But it's those times where it's like, oh mate, you're sitting on a 5, I'm sitting on a 4. Oh, I'm gonna knock that down to like a 2, and suddenly you're either gonna have to spend might or you're gonna lose the fight. And yeah, sure, if you lose the fight against Rumil, he's not quite as killy as Haldir, but what he does is just becomes a brick wall to that hero.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's so nice, especially when you can shield. You can do 4 attacks, and you're a D7 model, and you're making them re-roll their highest dice. Like,
yeah, and where it matters too, he does have heroic defense, and he does. Exactly. He becomes an absolute little tank.
Exactly,
holding up things that are an awful lot more powerful than him, because similar to like your Gorolf. So it's like, okay, here's a 70-point model. I mean, Rumil's gonna be 85.
Good luck starting
it. Yeah, good luck getting past him. Absolutely. He's brilliant.
He's one of those models that I see on the table across from me, and I go, yeah, I'm probably not going to kill him. Like,
yeah, because that's another thing. Like you're saying with the Haldir, like having Rumil in your army in Fog of War or Assassination or whatever, where they've got to kill him, you're just like, sick. I got 3 points of defense. I'm fight 7. I fight 6, D7, bloody parry your highest dice. You can't, if you throw your big hero at me, your big hero is out of the game for, 5 or 6 turns while you try and slowly grind your way through Rumil.
And the thing is, if you let Rumil, if you leave him alone and let him just like go against your troops, you're losing troops. They're dying.
Still do damage,
it's that choice. It's that decision of, do I sacrifice my hero for a couple of turns to, if I'm lucky,
try and get past,
or do I just send one guy into him each turn and like be like, all right, I'm gonna have to just suffer 3 heroic combats at some point. Like,
yeah. No, big time. I honestly reckon he's S tier.
Yeah.
He's low S tier, I reckon. But I'm taking him over Haldir, even if they are very similar, but they have their own pros and cons. Like, obviously,
they do.
Rumil's big cons are not having strike and not having that 2-handed weapon to be able to, deal that damage.
Yes, I agree.
But Haldir's got the big con of he's a bit lower defense. He's a bit easier to win the fights against because he's, even if you strike is, a bit more reliable on fight 6, but can still fuck you.
Haldir's still only got 2 dice to get the 6 too.
Exactly.
He's only a two attack hero. Yeah. One of the reasons that I started taking Rumil over Haldir is Haldir's proficiency, if you like, is his shooting. And as you mentioned earlier, Liam, shooting can be very swingy, whereas fighting is 3/4 of the game. Yeah. And if you've got a fighty hero or a shooty hero, unfortunately, the fighty hero is going to be a bit better.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, shooting, especially with a good army, you're not shooting for that long. So a good shooting hero is still gonna, unless it's Legolas, is going to struggle a bit later on unless it's got, you know, some tools, which Haldir does have some tools, but
if Rumil did not have Swift Parry,
it's Haldir, yeah,
gone. I would even be looking, it would be low A tier without a doubt. But Swift Parry, I've seen that thing. When it goes off, and it goes off more than you think. Like
it can be broken levels of good.
Very obviously it's a dice game, but in my experiences against him, Swift Parry, it goes off more than it doesn't. There's been once or twice where my opponent's like, "Oh, re-roll your 5," and I'm like, "Haha, fuck you, I rolled a 6." But in most cases, and
that's the
in
thing
my
as well.
Quick mind estimate, I think statistically speaking, Swift Parry's going to knock your opponent's number down more often than not. So
and that's the other thing as well. Like he's D7. Like even if the Swift Parry does fuck up, like he's still a hard nut to crack. Even if he loses that fight. Like sure, he's only 1 fate 2 wounds, but he's still going to be solid defensive wall. Even if Swift Parry does fuck up.
Yeah. One of the best uses I've found for Swift Parry is against models that don't have might, whether it's because they're out of it or because you're fighting warriors or a troll, and when they don't have a banner themselves.
Yeah.
Right. Because all of a sudden, for example, a troll, you come up against Rumil, the troll rolls a 6 of 3 and a 2, which is likely to happen. Swift Parry the 6 and he rolls a 4. Rumil wins.
Best model, absolute best, like points wise, like points differential. You throw Rumil into the Balrog, and suddenly the Balrog
Balrog's another one. Yeah,
absolutely useless.
Yeah, agreed.
If Rumil can constantly get into the Balrog is 4 attacks. Yeah, wow, fight 9 or 10, whatever he is, 10, I think. Wow, he can't use a banner. He has no might. Rumil just goes, "Oh, you're 6? Nah, fuck you, mate."
If that Balrog doesn't roll double 6s,
exactly.
There's 350 points just standing there.
Yeah, and you've got an 85-point model holding it up for however long.
Day of the week.
I will agree with you, Liam. I'm thinking I'm putting Rumil in the S tier. I think he's brilliant.
Yeah. He's low S tier. He's teetering, but I think he's very, very good.
Yeah.
Very valued.
This next one's interesting because I know nothing about, but you have a newfound love for this model, Liam, from that doubles tournament.
I like it, but I don't think it's good. Galadriel Stormcaller is interesting. But I think that it runs into a similar problem as the captain, where it doesn't really fill anything. Oh, well, worse than the captain, it doesn't fill anything that that Lothlorien can't get elsewhere, other than call wins, I guess. And it's points that you could be spending elsewhere.
Yeah,
like 60 points for a Galadriel Stormcaller is quite a lot of an investment for not a lot of gain. The only reason I ran it in that list was it was a doubles tournament. We had Celeborn and I had Celeborn and the Stormcaller, and we had I was with Riley, and we had Amdir, and our main game plan was how many times can we give Amdir a lightsaber?
That's a very good synergy. Yeah,
Enchanted Blade and Blade Wrath because he had the Easterling War Priest. This was before quickly, Burger came.
For those people that are wondering why you've allied Lothlorien with Easterlings.
With Easterlings, yeah,
it was a shit show of a tournament. It was the end of the Queensland League.
It was a good tournament.
It was the Yuletide event, and it was no red alliances, good evil alliances. Do whatever the hell you want, and that's what it turned into.
Great tournament.
Second place.
That was my second place from that tournament. Yeah.
Good. Well, actually, there's an advertisement for how busted that little synergy was. Then.
Big time.
Enchanted
Although to be fair,
like
I think we only got that synergy off like maybe once or twice, and even then it really wasn't like at the opportune time. We did actually kill a troll chieftain with it.
That's fun.
We did a lot of damage to him, but anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a solid little synergy. But now they can do it as a naturalist with the old Borgir.
Yeah.
Some
of the downsides of a Stormcaller, as well as just being expensive for what he does, is he's only defense 4. For an elf hero, he's only fight 5. And he's also only courage 5 again for an elf hero. One of his special rules, which is an interesting one for any sort of mage shaman across the game, is that when he casts a spell, if he casts a spell on a natural 6, he gets all of the will spent casting that spell back. And that is pretty handy on that, one in every 2 or 3 games where it goes off.
It can be
you'll
very
actually get some mill back. Yeah, absolutely. Don't go relying on it.
Yeah. What you can do is go,
spend
hey,
3 will every time you cast.
That's the thing. If you don't really have much of a use for that game, and maybe a Call Winds ends up, changing part of the game because you're trying to get a model off an objective or whatever, you throw all 3 will at a Call Winds and maybe get all of that will back, and it's just like it goes up at a 3 anyway, so it's not like you're not going to cast a spell. It can be really interesting, but I do genuinely think this.
I think they should C. Yeah.
I'm okay with C.
Bordering on D tier. It is.
I haven't seen a high elf Stormcaller or a wood elf Stormcaller since maybe 2010-ish. And even then, it was just like the dude was kind of just like, I got the model, I'll use it.
That's kind of it.
It's painted.
I think actually the high elf Stormcaller is a little bit better than the wood elf Stormcaller. I might have said the complete opposite thing.
I think you did. I'm pretty sure you did.
I might have, but I actually think Strength and Will on
Strength and Will's handy.
Yeah, Strength and Will in Rivendell. I mean, throwing that on
Elrond
or whatever. That's a little bit better than. I think they're both they sit about the same, to be honest. I think they both were in C tier anyway.
One of the interesting ways that I've used a Stormcaller, 2 things with these spells. Call Winds.
You proxied him for Celeborn.
No, I didn't do that. You won't see me proxying too much, mate. But I used Call Winds similar to your suggestion of pushing him off an objective, but actually just piffing a banner out of the way. So someone's got a banner in the mixture and it's playing well for them, you can piff it out of the way. Enchanted Blades is one of the best spells to actually use for a Galadriel captain on a horse. So if we're not talking allies, he's probably the best benefit for that, short of Celeborn.
Yeah, true.
Because the Galadriel captain gets his double attacks when he knocks people over and can 2-hand. So all of a sudden, 6 dice, 2-handing, re-rolling all wounds.
Yeah.
That starts getting pretty powerful.
That does.
But I think the problem you run into is that he's 60 points, and if you've got Celeborn, then Celeborn 1 already has access to that spell on a better roll.
On a 3,
on a better roll. So you're not adding him in. And if you want to run like a no-named heroes Galadriel.
No, you still don't take him.
Let's do it.
Yeah, it's all out of Galadriel captains. You still don't take him. It was just more of a suggestion of what you
No, I do get it. No, it is definitely he does have some decent spells, but I think the problem that he runs into is that he's a bit he's expensive.
There's other options.
There's other options.
Yes.
10 minutes, boys.
10 minutes. There's other options.
I have a special request for this next model. I want another tier under D.
And to be honest,
wait. The tier level is called only useful as a Wood Elf Sentinel conversion.
That's the thing. The dude just doesn't do anything for his points.
Wood Elf
considering the Wood Elf captain,
Let me pay another 5 points to turn him into a Galadriel. 5 points to turn him into a Galadriel captain.
I really love.
He can get a throwing dagger.
Yeah. I really love Wood Elves. That's what I run at Gladdy. Wood Elves in general are very good. The captain, however,
yikes,
really falls into just a nether realm of never used. He's fight 6, fantastic. He's strength 4, fantastic. He doesn't have a hand and a half Wood Elf sword for whatever goddamn reason.
Modeled with one.
Yeah, modeled with a big fuck off handle on it. Yep. For whatever goddamn reason, he doesn't have hand and a half. Unless maybe that's been errated. I haven't looked, to be honest.
So.
I don't think so. I don't think so either. He can have throwing daggers and a wood elf spear. Like those are two solid additions to wood elves.
Cool.
Yeah.
But
if I want my captain to shield, I also want them to get extra defense.
Yeah, like you spend that extra. Well, like you give him, you spend that extra 5 points get a Galadriel captain with shield, or you spend like an extra 20 points or whatever to get Rumil, or like 10 points to get Haldir. Yeah. Like there's just so many better options than
as I said. Tier under D, only useful as a wood elf sentinel.
If I can give one suggestion
go for it.
Now, we don't like Heroic March, or at least Sean doesn't like Heroic March.
I like it. I like it. It's overrated. Though.
If you're playing, sure. If you're playing a Wood Elf kiting list with all throwing weapons and bows, he brings your march.
He does.
All right. So if you're marching, what's that going to be? 6-7 inches away, or even full distance, going 9 inches. Was it 6+3? Going 9 inches, piffing your throwing weapons back.
Yeah,
that can be a use for him. I'm not trying to say he's anything higher than C or D, but just that is a use. If you're going Wood Elves and you want to go real hard on the kiting, that might be a way to help.
He can also spear support.
He can spear support. You have a fight 6 spear support.
Yeah, you can do that with a 12-point model.
Exactly. Exactly. Actually, you can do that. They're oh no, they are 12. I thought they were 11 for some reason. Anyway, fuck me, useless. I'm not going to put him in his own tier. I don't think he's that. No, fuck your specific request. But I think easy fix on him. I mean, not easy. He's still going to be not great, but give him that hand and a half sword that he's obviously modeled with, and maybe give him like a special rule, like I don't know, maybe knife fighter or something like that. Like the
knife fighter could be fun.
Yeah, like the bloody old mate get the Thranduil Souls Ranger.
Well, you're thinking like Toriel and Ranger captains and stuff.
Yeah, something.
That's an interesting shout.
I've got a really good idea for a special rule for him, and I've got a name made up for it and everything. It's called Enchanting Songs.
Please elaborate.
So you've got you got the Hymn of Elbereth.
All right, we're going to move on to Galadriel.
You've got Elder Galadriel, which is the best one.
Fuck's sake.
And then you've got the Lay of doesn't matter. Anywho,
the lay of it doesn't matter. Fuck me. I mean, there's a very obvious position for this model, but we will talk about her anyway.
Yeah.
Galadriel is, oh my god, she's so good.
I'm quite excited for this segment. Sorry, this segment. Because Nick is a big fan of Celeborn. And Liam is a big fan of Galadriel. So
I like them both.
I want to see that.
They're both very good. The thing, like Galadriel is incredible for what she does. I will like she is weak to quite a bit once she actually gets, in combat or whatever. I haven't had the luck that you've had, Nick, of having her survive for a million fucking turns.
Yeah. So a couple of the good things about Galadriel then, Hero of Legend at only 130 points for elves. That's amazing.
Yep.
I think the only other one would be Thranduil if you take him in his yoga outfit. But I don't think anyone does that. So that's amazing. Courage 7 hero, brilliant. Heroic defense on your leader is fun, especially when you're only defense 3.
Funny.
Yeah, nice and fun.
Oh,
and it's fun. It's fun because you get huge big heroes going, I'm going to murder your leader, and you're just like, nah, buddy.
Nah.
See, you have that list, like that luck, I mean, and I have Bilbo come in and murk her in a turn. Though to be fair, and I'm calling Pat out on this one, he was using Bilbo with 2 attacks, which he doesn't fucking have. Wouldn't have made a difference. She would have been wounded regardless, which would have been the points of the VP for the VPs that he got. but he was using him with 2 attacks.
Mm.
But
Yep.
yeah, look, she can be really strong at surviving and that kind of stuff, especially with fate rerolls. Very, very
3
good.
fate, 3 rerollable fate is always wonderful.
Yep. Yeah.
Unless you're Liam.
Unless you're me. Yep. Exactly. My fate rolls are always dog shit. Oh my
Can
God.
confirm.
Fuck me, yeah. So Mirror of Galadriel, an incredible little addition. I've never used it.
It's a fun little thing.
I have used it a couple of times, and it is amazing, especially when you use it with a Celeborn, or you're bringing in an Aragorn or an Aemir.
Yeah,
someone that can really benefit from just dumping their fate and getting it all back.
You can allied in with some eagles.
Yeah, even filthier things. Yeah, like
you get the bird bath. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I do rate the mirror. Only take it though if you're using 3 fate heroes.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm usually running Rumil and Haldir, so they're kind of useless for it. Especially when she's got Blessing of the Valor. Like you can just go, okay.
Yeah.
You know they've copped a fate. Cool. I'll get that 1 fate back for the the 3 that I need to roll. Yeah. Look, no. And her spells like it. Not as I quite like. I mean, Saruman is my favorite spellcaster. No hiding that. But she does still have some good versatility. Being able to immobilize on a 3, command on a 4, blinding light
on a 2,
incredible spell.
Yeah,
yeah.
And then, like you said, the Blessing of the Valor just to bring a fate point back here and there.
Yeah, if it comes up.
And she has the 1 free will every turn. So it means that just every turn, just drop a dice on the mobilize. Her biggest weakness is being unarmed. Without a doubt, her biggest weakness is being unarmed. So it means that your leader is just really bad in a fight. And the problem that you run into, the only scenario where that is bad is Contest of Champions.
The worst fucking scenario for Galadriel.
It is.
The Queensland committee has basically just scrubbed out of the book.
Yeah, at the moment. Yeah. Honestly, strength 3, 1 attack unarmed. Sure, she's fight 6, but she needs some support. Oh man, she can really get rinsed if does not do the business.
Nick, my man, that game where you were like, "Hey, Galadriel's got more kills than alerts in Contest of Champions."
Yeah,
have fun. That was fun.
What she brings to it is the ability to go, enemy hero, you are transfixed for the whole game.
Yeah.
And that hero then can't get any wounds. And if you're versing something that is defense 5 or less, you can still burn might and kill things. Get a trap, kill a couple of things here and there. Yeah. Her weakest scenario is contest, but you have the advantage of transfixing pretty well endlessly your opponent's leader. Very few leaders in the game can do anything about that, bar maybe a Glorfindel or an Elendil who have the built-in Fortify Spirit. In every other scenario, Galadriel is one of the best leaders in the game because she stands at the back, she's got a blinding light so you can't shoot her, and good luck getting through a wall of fight 5 until it's too late to matter anyway.
Yeah,
disgusting.
God, I wish that's how it went against me and Pat because he got through that wall of fight 5 real fucking easily.
Yeah, you are fight 5 D3 as opposed to fight 5 D6.
Suddenly it was Thranduil and Bard like absolutely ganging her. It was awful. Thankfully they left, and then Bilbo came in and finished up.
Oh boy!
Doing work.
Granddaddy getting old daddy. Anyway.
Anywho, I personally like her in S. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I think she has to be. Like, she is absolutely solid. Like, for 130 points, she does most of the things she needs to do other than being a combat hero, which, God, if she had that fucking Bayon transform. Lady of Light, War Aspect fucking transform.
Something else that adds to her defensive capability is her special rule for terror. So if you're versing evil armies in particular, or low courage armies, they'll try and charge her and they just won't.
Yeah, that is true.
What's great about a heroic combat when someone's trying a heroic combat into her and then they fail the courage check? It's a beauty.
Yeah. Oh, that was a good heroic combat you did there. Oh, you're not ready afterwards?
You failed. Oh, Maho rolled double 1s again. Nice.
Literally every single fucking time. No, the other thing she doesn't have is that buddy Harbinger of Evil that she gets as Lady of Light. That would have been
That is a nice addition to the Lady of Light.
Oh well, kind of everything. She is still very solid for 130 points.
Very good.
Meanwhile,
Celeborn. This is the second model where I was driving to work going, I don't know. He sits somewhere between S and A for me. Like, I'm just going to straight out say that he sits somewhere between S and A for me because he is sensational. Odds are you will be taking him at 150 points, which is you give him the hand and half elven or the heavy armor, and you give him the shield. He is a beast. Lord of the West. He's got a little bit of magic, which is cool. Nothing sensational, but like stuff that can do work.
Yeah, that's it. Like the thing is, like, you're up against a terror army, pop Hour of Command, easy.
Yeah, he just guarantees it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like you're already courage, 4, 5, 6 kind of thing, or possibly 4, like if they've got Harbinger or whatever. Nice to just be able to guarantee those terror. Terror checks.
Always is,
Good. The big stand fast, nice.
12 inch,
if you
that's
have
cool.
a break.
He's your second
Lord
striker
of the West,
in the list, which is nice.
Strike, he's got 3s in all the right places, but I always come up to Celeborn, and I think he's just ever so slightly too expensive.
Yes, I agree with that. He is an amazing, I'll call him an amazing beat stick of a hero with a little bit of magic to back him up, whether it's an immobilize, enchanting blades on himself, and just going absolutely ham.
With a two-handed sword.
With a two-handed sword if he wants to. Lord of the West gives you that free reroll for the duel and the wounding if you need to. The beauty of that is that stacks with a banner. So when you're jumping on something, rolling 3 dice and then re-rolling 2 of them,
5 attacks essentially.
Your chances of getting that 6 at fight 6 is
pretty high.
He is a very good hero. I'm not going to take that away from him for a moment, but because you assume that he pays points for all the spells that he's getting, and he can only do them 3 times. It's quite expensive. It's quite expensive.
Considering that you can get Galadriel for 20 points less, or you're never running Celeborn without all this shit. He's never going to be unarmed. Like, what is he going to do in pajamas? Nothing.
He's similar to the bolt thrower in that respect of you look at him and go, sure, he's 130 points, but realistically, no, he's 150 points because you're not running him without.
Maybe you could argue he's 140 if you don't take that heavy armor. He's still D5. If he's not your leader, that's still solid enough. That's if you need those 10 points somewhere, but I think you probably sacrifice a warrior to grab some heavy armor on him.
Yeah, but I wouldn't take him out without the full kit.
No, but I think like if he was like 10 points less, I think he would appear a lot more often. I think he's
interestingly enough only hero of valor. Which is good for being valor, but as the Lord of Lothlorien, not being the legend, and so I'm not sure on the decision making there, in my opinion. But
Galadriel is the Lady of Light, but I think they could both be legend. To be fair,
What do you guys think about the rule that both Galadriel and Celeborn get for upgrading warriors to Galadriel Guard and getting +1 courage?
I was about to say that.
Sensational. Love it. My favorite rule in the game.
I was going to mention in Galadriel as well. We had
half guard. Durin's half guard. Shit.
Yeah, useless.
Give me some fucking courage 6 elves back for an extra point.
Gilgalad's Kingsguard. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of. We don't need an extra fight value. We need an extra fucking
getting on courage.
Extra courage.
Odds are, I would take a Warhorn, and you all know I hate a fucking Warhorn. I'd take a Warhorn over using that special.
The thing is, once you've put that on, if you've put that in every model in their warband, the Warhorn ends up being better value because it hits everyone, including your heroes. And also then is the same going to be same points or cheaper if you fill their warbands with those courage points.
It's basically the cost of a warhorn.
Yeah. If for whatever goddamn reason you want that courage, which to be fair, on a leader, not terrible, making them courage 8 on Celeborn and Galadriel, courage 7 on Rumil and Haldir.
I have had both Celeborn and Galadriel run in separate games, but I've had them both flee in game. So sure, the extra courage can be useful very rarely. I spent a few minutes actually trying to think of a reason why I would ever want to take it. And the only thing I can think of is if you're going, okay, I know I'm versing a dude who's bringing the like the Army of the Dead, for example. So you're list tailoring to the buggery. But problem is, going from courage 5 to 6, all right, the King of the Dead just brings you back to courage 5 anyway, and the warriors are still killing you on 5. So it makes absolutely no difference. So I'm sitting there going, I don't know why you'd do it. So whereas Lord of the West, however,
you're talking smack. Best rule in the game, boys.
That is top tier.
That is genuinely one of the best rules in the game.
Lord of the West is amazing.
Up there with
Parry's above it. Parry's above it. Yeah, Parry's above it. But Lord of the West is so good.
Let's talk about Lord of the East. Do you guys know what Lord of the East is?
It's fucking Gurian's special rule that you decide to give to it.
No, it's Nori from Erebor.
Oh, that's right.
Champions of Erebor Nori. I don't know what the proper name is, but I call it Lord of the East.
Yeah. It's literally the exact same rule as Lord of the West. They give it to Nori. I completely forgot about that.
Lord of the East, boys.
What's it? I think it's like I don't know, weapon master or combat synergy or something along those lines.
Something like that.
But for whatever goddamn reason, he gets the exact same fucking special rule as these ancient elven lords.
Yeah, these 1,000-year-old elves.
Yeah. Literally, the first line in Celeborn's bio is he's one of the eldest of the elves in Middle Earth. And it's like this like fucking 50-year-old dwarf can do the exact same thing as he does.
And he's only 80 points too, the cheeky bugger.
Yeah.
Right. That's all right.
Yeah.
But no.
Where do we think he sits?
That's the thing.
I think he sits. I think he sits above the Galadriel captain.
Yeah.
I think he sits between Haldir and the captain because
I think he's above Haldir.
Unless
I don't.
Yeah. Unless you're going into a Galadriel list going, I want to take Celeborn.
Yes.
You start writing Galadriel lists and you go,
actually,
what's her face? Galadriel. That's if you just sit down, you open up the book, you might originally go, all right, Celeborn, but then you start reading Galadriel and you go, move over, son, Galadriel. Unless I set in stone on taking Celeborn, it's always Galadriel. It is always Galadriel for me.
If Celeborn ever got the option for a horse for 10 or 15 points,
oh my god, yeah,
then he bumps up. Then he bumps up, but it's similar to Boromir of the White Tower. How it's almost like he's paying a bit because he's just so awesome, but then he lacks that killing power. You know, if you're taking Boromir with our
best support here in the game, boys, you heard it here first.
But if you put him on a lance with a horse, put him on a horse with a lance, Boromir, you're paying points above and beyond the other Boromir thing. So my thought here is that Celeborn is paying points because he is so good. But when you compare him to other heroes in and around that range that can also take a horse, his killing power is not as good.
Yeah.
So
the only thing is that he does. For me, in terms of killing power in Lothlorien, he is second to none. I think
absolutely. Yep.
Like he is the best killing power in the list.
Yes. Yep.
Hand and a half, 3 attacks. Lord of the West, like Enchanted Blades on himself. Like there is nothing in that list that tops him on killing power.
No.
But yeah, you guys, it is hard to say that he's below those two boys. Whoops, I scrolled the wrong thing. Hard to say that he's below those two boys, but those two boys, like together, they are what? If you add them both, they're 160 odd ish. If you have them both,
it's fractionally more to bring them both, and you get 27 warrior slots in 6 might.
Yeah,
and,
with
I'm sorry, but that's just better.
Yeah, it is.
As good as Celeborn is, the two brothers are just
Yeah, that's the thing.
Without
That's
a
the
doubt.
problem with him is that he is too expensive.
Yeah.
He's paying for stuff that he doesn't really need. In the magic, like I could do without the magic. If it was more along the lines of like the magic is great, don't get me wrong, but if you've got Celeborn, if you've got Galadriel, you've already got what Celeborn does, kind of thing, except on a better scale because he's only doing it 3 times, whereas Galadriel can do it 1,000,000 fucking times. And then Celeborn, if he had the if it was like he gets a circlet or whatever like that Thranduil gets to get his spells. If it was something I could drop, I would be dropping his spells.
Yeah.
To make him cheaper.
I think if Celeborn was 100 points with with the armor, the sword, and the shield, if he was 100 points, didn't have magic, and
I think he'd probably still need to be like 120.
Maybe drops a few like will or fate or something here and there. I think you start to see him a lot more.
I think the problem is that like the 30 points is roughly like 30 points is probably on par with giving him those magic spells. Or if you say, hey, they're 5 points each, 15 points. If I could drop 15 points off his total.
Yeah, now you're getting about right, in my opinion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now you're feeling good,
Yeah. Because it is only like, I think, what are they, 85 is 170 for the two brothers. Right?
Yeah.
Assuming you're not taking the elf cloak on Haldir and Rumil.
Yeah.
That's 20 points. And so, I'm sorry, it's better.
You're absolutely taking that over Celeborn. That's the problem.
Which is why I think I agree. I think as much as Celeborn is definitely the bigger beat stick, he's just not as good a value, which is why for me I would put him below Haldir.
Yeah, no, you've convinced me. That is it. That is it for the heroes. We've finally finished the heroes. It's only taken us about an hour to do the heroes.
Nice, Gary.
Thankfully, warriors usually go a bit quicker, but there's a lot of
we like to talk about our heroes.
Yeah,
there's a lot more to talk about.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm happy with where they are. I think that's like those are where those heroes belong. I think Rumil still borders, but I think putting him S tier is right. Galadriel,
it feels right. I would feel wrong if he was in A tier. S tier. I'm like, he could be A tier, but I know for a fact that if we had him in A tier, I'd be sitting here going, no, bump him up.
That's wrong.
So this feels right, and I think it's like with most
these two bastards are absolutely where they need to be.
That Wood Elf Sentinel needs to be elsewhere, but anyway.
Speaking of Wood Elf Sentinels,
is that the first one? Oh,
it's not. No, go fuck yourself.
That would have been amazing.
If I had time to have gone into the other window and changed it, I wouldn't have. So, we're starting off with a Wood Elf warrior with bow. I mean, any elf with bow. God,
S and A.
Yeah, it's hard not to put the Wood Elf warrior with bow S tier. Especially when you can give them Wood Elf spears. Like Wood Elf spears are a separate thing on the whole because we for whatever goddamn reason we do them as the war gear that they can get instead of just the base model. But a Wood Elf warrior with bow and spear, being able to
that combination
shoot when you want to shoot.
Or S tier.
Yeah. Shoot when you want to shoot, and as soon as shooting's finished, you come in and spear support with Fight 5, or if your opponent somehow gets on top of your bows, you're suddenly got 2 attack shielding with a whole bunch of spear supports. It's my favorite way to run those boys with the bows. Give them spears every day of the week. Like that's their 11 points, which is expensive for a D3 model, but oh man, I can't not talk about my Wood Elf boys and not
Look at the smile. Look at the smile on his face. Look at the smile.
He's like a little boy.
Bad. They're bad, but they do so well. Like you can't argue with results, people. They're D3, but you know what? I was undefeated.
You did have an absolute stellar day, mate, or weekend even. I do have to play the bad guy though.
I was about to do the same. I'm glad you're here with me, Nick.
No, I am sorry, Liam. If I was
Get the
building,
fuck out of here.
Yeah, I know. All right, I'm never being invited back.
No.
if I'm building,
The fans will be mad.
If I'm trying to build a list that I feel is the most competitive list, I can't go past D6. You're losing. Yeah, you're losing 3 points of defense, and you're basically the same points. I mean, because we're giving the Galadriel a shield. All right.
Yeah.
One of the things that I like about a wood elf with a bow. So we're talking about wood elf with bow. If you're not playing entirely wood elves, just having a couple of them to stand on an objective behind a wall that can't be shot at.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like that's
so I like that.
Yeah, that's what I think. What else do still bring to the table that Galadriel don't? Is
yes,
they all have elven cloaks, whereas you can't get them at all on Galadriel warriors.
Yeah.
Whereas then you can go, okay, I have Galadriel with blinding light, and anyone who's not in blinding light, I just chuck behind a bit of cover. Fuck you, you can't even
you can't shoot me at all.
Yeah.
So I think from your perspective, you build a wood elf list, and absolutely the wood elves with bows and spears, top of the tier. But if you're building a Lothlorien list,
you are. They're not top of S tier by any means, but I think as a bow in Lothlorien, I would take them over a Galadriel with bow. Purely because you've got the wood elven cloak, you've got the ability to shield, you still fight 5, you still shoot just as well as them, and you're the same points.
I agree. Like I definitely sit in between the two of yous in terms of like I think I would if I'm building Lothlorien, I think I would take these guys. One, they're a point cheaper, with elven cloak, and they're good you chuck them an objective, you chuck them behind a piece of terrain, they're invisible. That's sensational. But I still don't think they sit in S tier. I think they sit. I think
this
they
is
sit
the
up at
one
A tier.
hill I'll die on. The bows,
in this list anyway.
The bows belong in S tier.
If we had a pip for bow plus spear, S tier without a doubt.
Even without the spear, you're paying a point less, and your bows can't be shot back if you've got them behind some terrain. That to me is better than the 2 extra defense that you get with a Galadriel with bow for the point less. That to me beats it. I just like you're paying less and you're getting a more survivable bow because they just can't be shot back.
Yeah, no, I see your point, mate. I can't argue with the point. Just
I think in terms of wood elves in general, I'm not going to put any of them that high, even though I fucking love them.
Yeah.
The wood elf bow is the one that I will argue just purely because like you can chuck them behind a terrain piece. They can't be shot back. They're still shooting the exact same as a Galadriel warrior, and you're paying a point less to get basically the same thing.
So let's pretend that in your 700 point range, you can probably take about 13 bow armed warriors.
Thereabouts.
Are all 13 going to be wood elves?
I would say yes.
Take some Galadriel with bows? So you'd go all wood elves?
I would say yes. If I was giving them spears, absolutely. If I wasn't, maybe I'd mix it. But even then, it's just you've got those 13 boys. If they've got spears, absolutely. They are sitting there because purely then you've got the Galadriel fight 6 at the front fight 6 D6 at the front. After shooting is done, these boys come in with their spears and they spear support, and they do the exact same thing as a Galadriel warrior. But for the first half of the game, they can't be shot, and you're able to shoot exactly the same as a Galadriel warrior with bow.
Yeah, fair argument.
Without spears, maybe they do drop a bit, but I just think
definitely can't argue with your points at all because you're bang on with those points.
Yeah, good points.
It's just this gut feeling. And that's what I'm going on with this. As a lot of me going on with Lothlorien is gut feeling because I haven't played Lothlorien.
You played them 3 times and then sold the list. So
I played them 3 times and I went. I like Dale. I think they sit A tier, top of A tier for sure. But as I said, I can't argue with your points because your points are bang on and they're the same points that I would argue as well. But does that justify S tier? I don't know. I'm going to leave it to you guys. but that's my penny
reserve for
is A.
Yeah,
it's an auto take for me. It is.
Yeah. Mate, you make good points.
Personally, if we want, I'll drop them.
No.
But I'm
honestly happy with your
my
argument.
point.
No, I'm honestly happy with your argument, dude. And like I'm saying to you, if I even had wood elves, I would 100% take a few of them. But the biggest thing with any bow-armed models, and especially in your good army, is they do have to come in eventually. You can't just stand there doing nothing. When you do have the spears, like you said, then they can do it quite well, and the defense 3 doesn't matter. So no, you make good points, mate. You make good points. Bump him up.
Purely because he's not technically armed with a spear, because it's just the bow. I'll put him down. But mate, a wood elf with a spear and a bow in any Galadriel list is how I would absolutely run a regular Galadriel list.
You're ready for this? Get ready for Liam to cry. I just beat Liam on a technicality for the second time in a row.
You're a piece of shit, mate. We're ending the channel here. I'm done. All right. Well,
it's the end of the channel.
Catch you all, guys. Catch you later.
Good night, guys.
Bring us playboard next time.
Nice to meet you. Oh, baby. Oh, it took every ounce of my strength not to just leave the Zoom call just then.
SW, if you're watching, this is how you should do a video when you decide to drink in it.
Shut the fuck up. Oh my god.
Sorry.
So
moving on to the next
warriors with spears. I mean, I didn't actually add any. Oh, I did have a sword without a shield, but honestly, I just think Galadriel warriors are 10 points. Unless, of course, the bow makes them 11.
Yeah.
You're not running Galadriel warriors without the shield.
Yes.
Personally.
Unless they're Haldir's elves, and then you don't want to ruin the model.
Well, yeah, but then you just say, "Hey, they've got shields."
They've got shields. Yeah, I'm just not putting one on.
You just don't WYSIWYG Haldir's elves.
They've got wood elf swords that also give them +1 defense.
Oh wow! Yeah.
I do agree. You're always giving the Galadriel warrior a shield.
Yeah.
Therefore, they're always base 10. This boy here with a spear.
11.
My list has always got basically 1-to-1 with my sword and shields, plus my bows from there. Yeah. So you guys tier that how you like, but at the end of the day, it's a fight 5 dude with a spear and a shield, and now defense 6, which that's bloody good at 11 points.
Big disgusting A tier for them.
I think big A tier. I think a lot of these boys are going to be A tier. Like the biggest thing that Lothlorien has, their problem is that they can't kill. They can hand and a half, which is nice. Hand and a half feint for the most part, because you're always mostly going to be higher fight, and you're mostly going to have your lad behind you, giving you that fight value anyway.
And a banner or two.
And a banner or two. Dad, 2 banners. Anything above like 600 points, you need 2 banners, mate.
2 banner mini. Shout out.
For
all your commission painting needs.
All your commission painting needs. You open again?
I am open again, actually. Anyway.
All right. Look, Galadriel Knights are an interesting one, though.
I'm assuming this is a Galadriel Knight with a bow.
Yeah, this one is. Sorry, the one next to him, that guy's a banner. The banner got cut off. And then we've got the sword over here. But anyway,
cool.
Look, I mean, again, you're always going to be giving them shields, unless, of course, you're arming them with a bow.
Yeah. Well, they have expert rider, so you can do both.
Oh, you could do both. Yeah.
Expert rider can have a bow and a shield, and absolutely you do it. If you've got do it.
Do they get the?
You get the +1 defense, same as
the
Riders of Rohan.
Yeah, Riders of Rohan do it as well.
All right, bang that baby up into A tier.
It's always good for a couple, and the same sort of reason I was saying with wood elf with a bow is they're your mobility. And if you give them the bow, they can do what they need to do on an objective or on a flank and just shoot at something. It's be annoying.
I think
and when your opponent chases up,
go for it. Yeah.
I was just going to say, when someone starts chasing you, you're like, haha, cool, woods, just run through it. And then they can't chase you. Because you got fleet foot as well.
You have beaten me in a game because you had one wood elf Galadriel Knight with a bow. And it was at that Toowoomba tournament I was taking Ugluk Scouts, and our lines clashed, and I was sitting pretty. I had you boxed into this little fucking corner, and then one little gap broke open, and you were like, "My knight," and just shot it down the board. And I went, "Oh shit!" And whilst you're running down that board, you look at my Urukai and you go, "Hey, you sitting on that objective? You're dead. Guess who just won the game?" And I was like, "Yep, fair enough."
Yeah. With the bow and a shield, I'm always taking at least 2 in that 600 point range.
I think that's how you run knights for sure. Like Galadriel knights, I think bow shield is how you should run them.
Yeah.
I think anything else,
they don't have that killing power in combat.
No,
exactly.
So I think you want them as your bowman. You run them around, pop shots here and there, and then once you whittle your opponent down, then you're like, all right, cool. Now I can just throw my cav in and get supported by these other guys.
Yeah, they're just so expensive. Like they're ridiculously expensive for not.
So they are 21 points with the bow and shield. The downside to them compared to some other cavalry is that they are only strength 3. They don't get a lance, and they don't even get a hand and a half weapon.
No.
Right? The upside is they are fight 5 cav, so you could consider fainting.
When you compare them to Rivendell Knights, for an extra point, yes, you do lose Fleetfoot.
Fleetfoot, yeah.
But, mate,
you're killing powers.
Lance, shield, and all that. So yeah, they're phenomenal. Absolutely bonkers.
I like 1 or 2 in a list for your mobility, a bit of flanking, whatever it needs to do. So I certainly take a couple. And this is the way you do it with a bow and a shield.
Yeah, the mounted banner, no, not happening.
No,
not happening. Like you're running a banner in elf list, but you're never running a mounted banner because you just don't have enough cav, and they're too expensive to do that.
In general, mounted banners I personally hate because cavalry are meant to be your like hitting power. That's the hammer against your anvil, and so suddenly you've got one running around. That's an extra 25 points, and it can roll a 5 high. Yikes!
Yeah.
I agree that they're bad in this list because you're not even taking the knights for the hitting power. No, because they're not that good at hitting.
So and then they're suddenly worse. With a banner. Yeah.
The only good thing about the mounted banner out of the box is for conversions and giving it to the foot models. Otherwise, it stays in the box.
Yep, absolutely.
That's another tier.
Oh, that's another tier being made into other banners.
Being chopped up.
Bow. Yeah, Galadriel bow.
I think he just sits right there. I think he sits there.
Yeah.
It's a D5 bow. I've already made my point. I think the Wood Elf one's better, but I think they're still very good. It's still elf bows.
Thing when going up against a Galadriel army, you look at that D5 bow and you hit their lines and you go, all right, cool. They're the guys that I'm killing to break this shield wall. They're the guys I'm going to jump through. So, yeah.
I think again, go for it, mate.
What I was going to say there, so how I build a battle line, all right, is if you get the opportunity to, depending on the scenario, you mix in the shields, all right, and you have a shield and a bow, then a shield and a bow, or something like that. But you also put the next guy in this list behind him. So when people try to come in behind it, it's like, cool, I'm going to get you. Oh, wait, you got to fight 6 spear support.
Mate,
all of a sudden, absolutely.
No doubt in my mind that the Galadriel court, 12 points
against the two of you. So against Liam at Gladstone, just this one fucking guard standing in the middle of, or not middle of the board, but this middle of this like choke point, and Hurin was like 4 or 5 turns running into him going,
almost the whole game.
I'll get him. No, did not happen.
Almost the entire, basically the entire game held up Hurin with one guard.
Because of where Hurin was, I was like, I can't go around. I can't go around because it'll take me 5 turns extra.
It was because it was like this little.
I needed to go through this spot.
And it was like this little circular ruin. I had him against the board edge and the ruin. And so to go around, he'd have to go around this big old circular ruin, or he had to kill this guard of the Galadriel court. And there's a 12-point model holding up almost 100-point hero for fucking 6 or 7 turns. Oh man.
Dumb. And then you did the same thing against me, Nick. There was that one shielding court guard who just stood there, and I surrounded him with a bunch of guys, and he just stood there and was like, "Nah, I'm alive."
Yeah.
I'm alive.
The fact that they can shield.
Yeah,
Oh.
shield, and the fact that they're also a pike, so you can go too deep in your battle line as well. So they're a brilliant model. You're always throwing, probably for me, 1 for every 100 points in your list. You don't see, the thing is you don't need a dozen of them, because your opponent's only ever going to have 3, 4 heroes. And you don't need fight 6 when you're only versing fight 4 Urukai.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're only ever having, that half dozen at 600-700 points. But yeah, a fight 5 hero hates these guys. Huron
even a fight them. 6.
Captains
hates them. Yeah, captains hate them because they can't strike. But like Isengard hates these guys because all their heroes are fight 5. They hate them.
Even fight 6 heroes. Suddenly, like even Aragorn, you just throw I did it to Thranduil at that tournament. I did it to Bard at that tournament. Just throwing a boy that is fight 6 in behind like a charging hero or whatever.
Yes.
Like it's just like, especially if they're the spear support, like you're just like, cool, come at me, bitch. Like you're gonna have to take. You're gonna have to spend might you might have to strike. You're gonna maybe rely on the reroll, but I've got an Elven Made Blade in front of me. The only thing, they don't have the blade, which is probably the balance. If they had a blade as well as
if
fight
they
6,
had a blade, I would kill myself.
The other weakness is defense 5.
They definitely they fall for that factor of like, oh, cool, my opponent's pop blinding light, so I'm hitting on 6s. I may as well just go for them.
Shoot at the pike guard.
Shoot at the pike guys. Even they're behind a rank or 2 of guys, but my chances of hitting stuff are low anyway, so I may as well go for them. They're another one that if you do beat, you're looking good to kill it. So you can pop through your opponent's ranks, and you can break their battle line by going through those bowmen, through those court guard.
It's the price of coming through a fight 6 model. There's not a lot of models that can really reliably get through them. Like even especially if they're rolling well. Like man.
They're often got banners nearby. So you're quite often rolling 3 dice. If it's just 1-on-1, you're often rolling 3 dice in a duel. They're phenomenal models.
Speaking of banners, I think the Galadriel banner is a D6 banner in an elf list. It's S tier.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nothing more to say there.
Look.
If you take 2 of them, it's double S tier.
Double S tier.
Not gonna say that.
Nope.
It's S tier. It's double S tier.
Yeah.
Elves at fight 5 are the biggest beneficiaries, if you will, from banners, and having 1 above about 400 points and then 2 over 600, 650. Yeah, it's having the coverage across the line, just rerolls everywhere. It's
my biggest mistake in this game is going, hey Nick, why don't you take 2 elf banners? And then you going, all right, I'll give it a try immediately. This is fucking amazing.
Like, Well, it against your Dale guys, it did. One game I lose, we go, let's have a toss around of double banner. Next game I win. And it is just because it basically covers an entire, like, what do you get, about 12 model battle line? And it covers the whole lot. It's amazing. Yeah, absolutely. Double banner.
Yeah. Double banner every day. And
just that, like, UK. You heard it here from Nick.
A D6 banner, especially when you've got fight 6 warriors puffing around, like, fuck me. That banner in an elf list, banner in this elf list. Like,
banners in high fight armies.
Yeah.
That's where they slap.
You got to do it. You've got to do it. Fair enough if you're running like fight 3 or whatever, like maybe you could go with just 1 banner or no banners, but even then, like it's just that off chance of going, you come up against an elf that doesn't have a banner and you come in with a goblin or whatever and you're just like, I've got my drum reroll. Okay, I beat you and kill you. Like it's just those like banner rerolls. I don't understand why they're so underrated overseas. I know there are definitely places that do it, but for whatever goddamn reason,
be better, guys.
They work so well.
D tier. I see your mouse cursor. D tier.
One last thing on the banner before this. Yeah. Come on, give me a minute. doing up there?
Yeah, no, go for it, Nick. What were you talking about the banner for?
One last thing.
I'm not going to forget.
When you have that battle line going and you've now going, okay, I need to increase my killing power. You're two-handed feinting on the front guy. You've got the spear support in there. Again, the banner becomes so much more valuable because you're getting that third dice roll to win that fight and amplify your chances then of killing with that two-handed weapon. And I since getting back into the game a couple of years ago, I'm just seeing the absolute value that a banner is.
Yeah.
D-tier.
Mario with sword.
Nah,
oh,
D-tier.
D-tier. Oh, okay.
Nah,
Oh, sorry. That's weird. I don't know why that's D tier. Yeah, we've got the S tier Warhorn, and you said D tier for the D tier for the warrior. Fair enough. You right there, Sean? You're good.
Sean's gone.
He's turned his camera off. He's gone. All right, fair enough. Well, Nick, what do you think about the S tier Warhorn?
I think you made a mistake. S for shit, maybe.
I don't think I've ever made a mistake in my life. Undefeated. Oh, right, fine. Where does this motherfucker go?
Yes,
S
D tier.
Yeah, you fixed it again.
Get the Haldir's elf. Haldir's elf out of there.
The Haldir's elf is S tier solely on sculpt alone.
The sculpt is S tier. Yeah.
It is an incredible sculpt.
So the Warhorn, I don't think, again, similar to the Galadriel Guard upgrade, I just don't think you ever really take it. 35 points, you just don't get the benefit like you do from the evil armies going from courage 2 to courage 3. Excuse me. You don't get the benefit that you do as you do from the evil armies. Going from 2 to 3 is huge, but going from 5 to 6 is meh. I didn't even paint mine. It's still sitting in the box.
No, you don't use it. It's a lot of Warhorns aren't great. I do argue that some Warhorns are good, despite
Hobbit Warhorn S tier without a doubt.
Well, I think Forlong and Durin have the best Warhorns because they don't.
And actually, no. Best Warhorn is Erkenbrands because it gives you +2.
2+.
Oh yeah, good shout.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, yeah, put it in D.
Yeah,
I think
Galadriel
Warrior of Sword without a shield. I think he sits B. To be honest,
this is assuming shield. This is assuming you've got
shield.
this lovely sculpt that you didn't want to put a shield on.
Yeah, no, definitely A tier in that case.
I think it's A tier because he's your front line. You're going to be taking him, but I think spears are a bit more versatile. The bows are probably what you're trying to take more of, kind of thing.
Yeah. If for my list, mate, it's a third of each.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
so
if
got,
you
can. Hard to say exactly where you put it there. I'll leave that to you guys. But I mean, for me, you build the list by going, there's my heroes. Now I've got my front line. Now I've got my spears. Now I've got my archers.
I think
100%
in the upper echelons. Up near the spear dude and the elf.
I think
that kind of area.
Yeah, he's definitely up there. Oh, actually, I put it above a Cav. Actually, you're gonna take him over Cav.
Yeah, take him over Cav. I don't mind where you got him there, to be honest.
I
agree.
think,
the spear is more versatile.
Yeah, you've still got the Elhamay blade with the spear anyway. And then you've also got a spear, which obviously you're not taking entirely spears, which sometimes not a bad idea.
In some armies, it's good. In others,
I think you're saving a couple of points, obviously, by grabbing the swordsman with shields.
Yeah, that's the one upside, is that if you got 10 of these without shields, that's 10 points. That's one more model.
Exactly.
And with elves, every model helps.
Exactly. Every fight 5 model helps for sure.
Yeah, at D6.
Yeah.
Unlike this boy.
We're reaching a bit of a sad area.
This is gonna hurt you a bit.
It does hurt. It hurt. The thing is, they are D3. I cannot argue that they are D3, but I also can't argue with results. They do still do the business of elves, regardless of the defense. The thing about the Wood Elves that I really like is that regardless of defense, if you are rolling if you're rolling sixes, which is your goal in any list, if you're beating your opponent, you're still doing the exact same thing as a Galadriel will. The defense barely helps you because like you have Elven Cloak, so you hide, or you have Galadriel, so you got Blinding Light. So like shooting's not going to really be that much of a problem. It's only if you lose the fight.
The big thing for me is as a whole, as a Lothlorien list as a whole.
Yeah, the
I will
Galadriel
take the bowmen without a doubt. I will take those bowmen. That's cool.
Yeah.
Everything else, I'm not even looking at. I'm only looking at these. I'm only looking at these other guys if I'm going, hey, it's PJ party time.
Yeah.
And then that's what you're taking. And they will
just making
the
the argument
the
of the fact that if you're winning fights, they do exactly the same thing as Galadriel.
Then I can see the argument too for a Wood Elf Spearman being
the Wood Elf Spearman
the Galadriel Spearman and does the same job as the Galadriel Spearman. The only thing is if your front line falls, the Wood Elves are...
Yeah.
Well, you say that, but then they can shield with their spears, or they've still got fight 5. Like it's still,
that's it, dude.
They are still very solid.
Yeah, fight value is obviously important, but it is important when you're rolling well. And those, let's say there's 10 combats, you might win 7 of those combats, but those 3 that you lose, that's 3 dead Wood Elves.
Not all the time.
Oh,
you are correct.
But
you are correct. No, they do die very quickly.
Whereas if you've got the D5 boys, maybe one of them will die.
I'm trying to fight for my boys, but no, you're right. Like they are pretty objectively worse than Galadriel Warriors, but they do still have the tools to do just as well.
Yeah. Oh no, they still do work. Like results speak for it. They do work. But yeah, as a whole of the like Lothlorien list, the bowmen, I'll take them. But as soon as I look at anything else, I go, yeah, give me armor and a shield on everyone else, please. Throwing weapons, I really don't care. Like,
as a good army,
they do still work.
How did yours go, Gladdy? Did you remember to use them?
Decently, very decently. I did remember to use them. Thank you very much. So no, what I was able to do quite often is the very first, just before the first round of combat, I would stop just short, throwing weapon, kill like 4 or 5 models before combat even starts. It's just that overwhelming firepower of hitting on 3s or 4s if you've moved, still very good, and strength 3 weapons. The throw weapons are coming up, but I do still argue that they are very good.
Oh no. Like none of what I'm saying is saying that they're bad by any means. No, they are still incredible. No. Everything Wood Elves are incredible. But I'm taking Galadriel. I'm taking Galadriel.
I'm saying but.
I'm taking Galadriel.
Speaking of well, okay, so a Wood Elf is actually going to be B tier as well. Then it's a Wood Elf. Are you saying these are bad too?
No.
You're gonna take Galadriel over these guys? Huh?
No.
Punk?
No.
Yeah, exactly. They're fucking S tier.
They're S tier. I have a genuine question for you, Liam. Without going, I'm going to run a pajama party list. If you open up this army book, do you gravitate towards Wood Elves?
I do, but it's mainly because of just now they're like nostalgia.
Try and push that apart. Try and push the bias away.
Okay, so I still think they are solid in a mixed Galadriel force. Because yes, you've then got your D6 front line, and if that dies, like even if it does die and collapse or whatever, you've still got like, you grab some guards, you've got fight 6, you've got sentinels, you've got wood elf spears for shielding. You still fight 5, you're still the exact same strength. All of this. Nick's swatting away my opinions.
I've got a couple of bugs flying around.
I still think they are very solid as an objective look, but yes, you are correct. D6 is going to do better.
Yeah, because if you look at it, if you look at it, even with just the D5 guys, and you say, all right, I'm going to make them both 10 points because it's 9 points for a Galadriel, or you give them spear, 10 points. Yes, they can't shield, But D5.
But then if you're
And
giving
odds
a
are
wood
you'll
elf a
have
spear that's a
backups,
point
it's-
less, and you can shield. So if it's just spear on
Are they not?
spear,
Are they
they're
not
8
10
points. Wood elves are 8 points.
Wood
Yeah,
elf spear is
plus
only
a spear
one.
is
Yeah,
10
it's plus
points.
it's only 1 point.
Are they
No,
1
the
point?
wood elf spear is only 1 point. Yeah,
I thought
2
they were
points
2
for the
points.
daggers, 2 points for the bow, 1 point for the spear.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Fair enough.
So that's
in a mixed force, Liam. Would you give the wood elf spears throwing weapons?
yes, because then you've got the front rank of D6. You come up, you finish within 6 of your back rank, throwing weapon for that turn. You've killed a bunch of models, and then you've got your battle line of D6.
So now they're not cheaper though.
No,
Yeah, that's the
but
thing.
that's not. Yeah,
That's
like
that's your
I'd
payoff.
still.
That's
I'd, it's the killing power of that first turn. If you can stop just before your enemy, or even bring them in around the sides or whatever, like you've got models to come in and go, I'm going to do a strength 6 attack, a strength 3 attack. Whether or not it kills you or not is about the exact same as if I was fighting you in combat, but it's a free strike.
Well, see that's
It's
why
it's a good threat.
That's why in Rivendell I really like the Noldorian Exiles, because you've got these 8-inch moving guys. You give them all throwing weapons.
God,
And you
they're
just go,
so expensive though.
They're expensive, but I still like them because you go around the flanks. Go boop.
Yeah.
But
those
boys,
oh my god. But no, I still value them even in a regular Lothlorien list. If I was running a Lothlorien list with Galadriel, I would still run Wood Elves.
Fair enough.
It's
there we go.
You
heard it here
shielding,
first, people.
The shielding Wood Elves, the threat of throwing weapons, the elven cloaks on your bows, all of those things, just it still gives them the value. It's not something if you just showed me Lothlorien before I'd played Wood Elves, it's not something you see immediately. It's playing them is just like, oh, actually,
hang on.
Like I'm just as survival. I'm just as good as the Galadriel with other special tricks. Like the Galadriel have their trick of being D6. I've got tricks to live as well. So I think
the Galadriel, if you're taking pure Galadriel, you're leaning more towards that shield wall style of play.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're taking Wood Elves, you're leaning more towards that kitey, that almost like
played them as a battle line.
Almost like Dunedain in a way. You could run them like that, and
you could, absolute
work. You pick your fights.
Still just run them as a battle line.
Oh no, like you can.
Yeah.
But it potentially
did you break in your games in Gladstone? Did you break?
I broke against Pat, and that was it.
Yeah, right.
Out of 5 games, I broke once.
Because I was sort of wondering, you might still win games, but might break because you're so squishy. But yeah, it sounds like you had a good day, man.
No, I to be fair, yes, I played well. I rolled well. I played the army how they should be played. Yeah. But they're still solid. Like, yeah, sure, they lose fights, they die. But if you're rolling half decently, you've got a banner nearby, you fight 5, your opponent, sometimes your opponent's not going to have the models to still deal with you. Even
I fucking love this passion. I've really enjoyed pushing this passion button of Liam for the past 10
army
minutes.
that I ran, the Wood Elf army I ran was very decent model count as well for Wood Elf, like for Lothlorien. I had like 43 or 40.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
43 model counts at 800 points, which, like, for elves, it was very good. With 2 banners, with fight 6 spear supports, with Wood Elf sentinels, with 3 big heroes. Like I still think they're solid. I don't think they're better than Galadriel for objective play. For the most part, you're probably going to be taking Galadriel more. I still think they're solid.
Oh no, we're not saying they're not solid. They're definitely solid.
They are good.
If you're a new player, play Galadriel and then dabble in Wood Elf, and then dabble in Wood Elves.
That's an interesting way of putting it.
Real quick, I am going to finish this up with just all the Wood Elves because they're going to be easy. So the spear is better than all of the others, realistically. This is throwing weapons boy. Throwing weapons are great. I would put them above a regular boy, and then the banner is good. But if it's not got
in a pajama party, it's fantastic. Otherwise, you'll take the Galadriel banner.
Exactly. I'd put it. I think I'd put it above the regular warrior, Wood Elf. But yeah.
What is the other Wood Elf you got there?
Throwing weapon.
You got 1 throwing weapon and 1 with sword, do you?
Yeah. I split them up into whatever goddamn reason.
You got spear, then throwing weapon, then banner, and then just sword.
Do the sword, yeah. I don't think actually. Would you ever take just a dude with sword, or would you always take dude with sword and throwing weapon?
Yeah, honestly, no.
Yeah,
put him
I
further
think
down.
I think they become expensive, but I think you always do have to give them something.
Yeah, they're either going to have a spear, a throwing weapon, or a bow, or a mix of those three.
Some combination of that. Yeah.
Let me just run 13 point elves. Let's go.
I done it. I did it in the fucking the Necromancer game because I didn't realize that I'd given my fucking bows throwing weapons and I didn't use any of them.
Beautiful.
Oh my god.
What's some thoughts on that Sentinel we've got tucked away in the S tier there? We didn't really talk about him.
We didn't. No, you're absolutely right. I was too busy ranting about Wood Elves. Sentinel
this is your top tier Wood Elf.
Oh,
yes.
Big time.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean,
Wood Elf Sentinels, incredible.
You're not taking a lot, but I think they're going to appear in almost any Galadriel list you make.
They should. They should. You have to take at least one. I would like to always say you take two because they're not that expensive for what they do. They're 25 points.
25 points.
Yeah. I will gladly sacrifice. I will gladly spend 50 points for two of these guys because the amount of times these guys have gone, hey, fuck you. Liam.
They won me the game. They won me the game against Sean.
You walked up to my guy who was holding the objective and went, hey, do you want to be the only guy in your army to fail a courage test for the entire game? Bang. Guess what? It's my objective now. Eat shit. And I was like,
yeah.
It was literally like the whole game.
Yeah, turn 2. I walked on the board with Rumil and hit one of his Sentinel in his warband. Saw the dude that just picked up the relic that turn. Brought him around the front of Sean's warband there, and then just ganked the dude. It was beautiful.
It was bad.
Like they can absolutely win you a game. Like the Eldamar Madrigal being able to move your opponent's model their full move.
Including march and drums.
Exactly. No other ability in the whole game lets you do that. Not even command, nothing. Obviously Fell Light. But
Fell Light does the same thing.
Yeah. Fell Light does the same thing, sorry. I mean, like in terms of magic, that kind of shit. Like
your command doesn't do that.
Yeah. Being able to go, oh hey, you've drummed and you're an Uruk-hai scout. Hey, you're gonna move 15 fucking inches in the opposite fucking direction to me.
But also being able to stack that as well is
you can't do it on the same model twice. Because
you can command. If you
command and do that, like, whoop, see ya.
Especially even on like banners and that kind of stuff. If they've got a banner nearby, you go, okay, Eldamar Madrigal, you're moving 6 inches. Oh, I've got Galadriel around command. You're moving another 3 inches away. You're now suddenly nowhere near your battle line.
Yeah. I've used it successfully against heroes, like an Azog alerts, things like that, where you can go, okay, you're only courage 4 or 5, what it might be. Try your luck. They roll snake eyes. Now they're sitting there thinking, shit, do I use my might and will to get past this? Or I'm either going to be charging in where I don't want to be charging, or I'm going to be piffing off in the other direction for, but that's 2 or 3 turns out of combat. Then the thing is, they start going, okay, I'm going to use my will to pass that courage test. Then Auntie Galadriel's sitting there with her hand up going, now you're transfixed for the rest of the game. There's nothing you can do about it. So it creates this interesting little synergy. It creates this interesting little this little double team effect with Galadriel because they're burning might to pass courage. So it's not defining might and will.
They're phenomenal. They've got 25 points. They've got 2 other rules, special songs.
They don't come in as much, but being able to auto pass a courage check just to go, okay, there's a big monster or whatever, and I don't want.
I need to make sure I get this one guy. I need to tie up Sauron for a turn or something like that. You just go, okay, I've made myself fearless. I'm going to go in and stand in front of you, boy. It doesn't come in as much, but definitely still a solid one. Making them terrifying, I've never used.
I've not used it simply because being a 25 point defense 3 model, I'm not very often throwing them in combat.
No.
I don't also don't want to rely on terror as being the only thing to save them. So I don't use that one too often, but Eldamar Madrigal is one of the best abilities in the game. Yeah. The fearless one is handy at times.
The fearless one, even not casting on themselves, you cast it on one of your boys. Like that's a 12-point model or whatever. Suddenly it's fearless and it's charging Sauron. It's charging a Balrog. It's chucking on a big hero that you really don't want to not fail their courage check to charge someone. Make them fearless.
These boys also have the benefit of 2 attack, which is great.
Yes.
Very, very, very good.
If you want those extra dice in a combat, if you want those extra dice in a trap, suddenly these guys will offer you 4 dice.
They don't have the hand and a half, which I think is what Nick was about to say.
I was just about to say that. They don't have the hand and a half weapon, but it's still an elven made sword. They get the elf bow for free. Yeah. So they're great. They're great for standing on an objective, just on the flank of your army, just pulling a banner out of the line. Hey, Sean. It works really well.
That's the thing. Like if you look at this point, so a Wood Elf warrior, he's gone again. A Wood Elf warrior with elf bow is 10 points. For 15 points, you are getting an extra attack, and you're getting all of these fun little magical spells, like all the songs, all the the bloody Eldamar magical, all that kind of shit. For 15 points over a regular Wood Elf with bow.
I'm throwing one into the army without a doubt.
Yeah. The fun thing is with them is that it doesn't use will. It's not a spell. So you can do this all game. If you've got a 15-turn game and you've got a low courage enemy model that you don't want anywhere near the battle or whatever it might be, all game. See you later.
Cave troll. Hey, you've got one cave troll. Bam. Bam. Bye.
One of the few times I've asked Sean playing his pajama party, his version of the pajama party, a Wood Elf Sentinel kept my cave troll away from combat the entire game. It was just
got into combat the last turn, but it meant nothing.
Yeah, it did absolutely nothing. 75 points. It was doing nothing all game, and it's like, yeah, sure, I'll absolutely pay 25 points to do that.
Yeah.
And it's just it's even like big trolls like the Beefy Chiefy or whatever. Like you just go, hey, you're pretty low courage. You don't have a lot of will.
Test your courage, let's say.
Yeah, catch you on the other side of the board for the rest of the game. Like it's
the thing that I did to Sean's banner that I made the little comment before was I was able to use the Eldar Magical to pull his banner out of his line, and then my knights that were sitting on the flank pounced on it. Yeah. So you can do some fun little things with them. They are.
It was all part of my tricks because then I was able to pounce on his cavalry. 4D chess.
Oh man, no, just being able to pull models out of position. Anytime you can control your opponent's models is
sensational.
Just an absolutely incredible ability to have in this game.
It's fun.
Where positioning is everything, you can suddenly go, oh, okay, you're not in banner range of the hero, or your hero is now not in combat, or the banner is now not in base contact, so I can shoot the piss out of it. Or like this troll isn't coming into combat, or just so many different little things. Or I want the relic. I don't want you on an objective. Oh, amazing for 25 points. Honestly, I'm going to put it above that Fight 6 model, even though
I'll take it. I like it.
I love the Guard of the Galadriel Court. I'm absolutely taking Guards of the Galadriel Court in the army as well, but I think the Wood Elf Sentinel just piffs it, just being able to, just those the ability to control a person's model.
It'll win your games, but not
tournaments.
Fucking hell! Oh, this entire fucking time has just been negative.
I put the horn back up.
I don't know what you're talking about. The horn has been there the entire time. Sean wanted it there.
He did. Yeah, I heard him say it.
Warhorn. Love him. Yeah. Soundbite that, boys.
But
honestly, I'm very happy with how this has turned out, even with the Warhorn in S tier. I think everything sits about right.
Yeah, I think this is probably exactly where it needs to be.
Yeah, and good justification and arguments on the Wood Elves, mate. You are right. They are still very good.
They are solid.
But I think the Galadriel with D6 is just that fraction more reliable. Yeah. But they are certainly good.
You're not wrong. I want to argue for my boys.
Yeah. You gotta. 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 You It's going to be S tier for everything, and I will die on that hill. I don't give a fuck.
Exactly. No, once we do Dale, it's going to be just the exact opposite of what's
I'm
happening
going to be so mad. It's going to be great. Lothlorien as a whole, give us a little bit of something, Nick. Why Lothlorien? What drew you to Lothlorien?
I've always had a fascination with like wood elf lore and that sort of thing. So whether it's a Warhammer thing or even completely other fantasy games or stories, wood elves as a whole have always interested me. And looking at all three of the armies, they were one that weren't played as much as well. So I sort of liked that element to them as well. From the movies and the books, I've liked the story of Galadriel and Celeborn and the stuff that they've been through. And I don't know, Haldir is he's just cool. I think
I remember crying when Haldir died in Two Towers.
Yeah,
many sad.
I've done that before.
I was always sad. I'm glad. Well, I'm always sad to see Haldir die. It's
I know it's coming,
heartbreaking,
but I don't know what's coming.
Yeah, always heartbreaking. I will also say we don't usually mention the army bonus in a lot of these lists, but the fucking resistant to magic on all of your models
is decent.
Yeah, when it matters, it's fantastic. When you come up against anything that's got magic, like so a lot of armies these days bring a Nazgul or a wizard or some sort of caster or shaman, and when your whole army's got that free resist, all of a sudden they've got to dump extra will just to make sure things go off.
Or you just roll fantastic. 6s and resist anyway.
Yeah, when Barrow Whites are throwing paralyzers at you, you're just like, don't care.
Mate.
Sorry, Dill.
There was a Witch King. There was a Witch King at Gladdy. I rolled a 6 about 4 times on my resists, and he was using 2 will on all those spells. It was atrocious. About 40 points of will that was just wasted on models that were just like 10 points or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
disgusting.
The other interesting thing with magic resistance too is that Galadriel does have heroic resolve. So if you feel that you need even more magic resistance, you can pair that in. Which there's some pretty nasty magic armies out there nowadays, and that could be an interesting little counter to it. But,
I can think of one in particular.
Yes. Overall, the Lothlorien list does do well. They can generally get more numbers on the table than the other elf lists because your heroes are smaller. So I've found that you can get more models. So Liam suggested he had 43 elves at 800 points, that's above average numbers in an elite army.
For the longest time, Lothlorien was considered as the shit elves. But that was back in the day when you give your Lothlorien or your Galadriel shit, and they're D5 with the shield.
D5. Back in the day, it was awful.
Disgusting.
Oh man, no, it's just like they're actually. I would argue that they are probably the underrated elf list because, I mean, you see Rivendell, you see Mirkwood way more often. But goddamn, if Lothlorien isn't like probably my I would say I'm up there with you, Nick. It's probably my favorite elf list as well.
Yeah.
It's
in a meta that seems to be transitioning to numbers mattering. When you can bring more high fight models to the table, it can be very powerful. Rivendell has probably more powerful heroes and certainly better knights.
Big time.
And Mirkwood's synergies with Thranduil just kick the shit out of anything.
Yeah.
But these guys, generally, you can bring a lot of numbers to the table and they certainly hold up their end.
Yeah.
Honestly, numbers and decent defense are looking good these days.
Yeah.
I actually rate them quite high. Like as far as elf lists go, I like them more personally, but even in terms of a army in general, I think they do quite well even compared to the other elf lists.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the day that we do a just like a faction tier list because I'll be interested to see where we put these guys. These will be an interesting place.
Man, the full faction tier list is going to be an absolute mess. It's going to be an absolute mess. An absolute shit show for sure. All right, guys. Awesome.
This has been a long one. Thanks for hanging out with us for the past 2 hours, Nick.
No worries. It's been my pleasure.
Fantastic to have you on here.
It's been phenomenal.
A very good insights as always. Love Lothlorien. Love tier lists. And we'll catch your guys. We'll
Catch y'all.
Catch y'all. Catch y'all in the next one, guys.
Do all the YouTube stuff.
Yeah, we've got Battle Companies coming out soon. That trailer will have dropped. Oh man, very, very, very keen.
Very excited.
Nick knows no idea what I'm talking about, but fantastic.
Good, that's what we want. Get ready for some ultra confidence.
Oh fuck me. Yeah, we're I hope you guys are enjoying these. Let us know your thoughts, where we went wrong. Always let me know where we went wrong.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see the comments on Galadriel versus Wood Elves. What are the comments there? What pros and cons that other viewers are thinking?
Yeah,
we will take that feedback and do nothing with it.
I reckon I'm in the low percentage of people who actually appreciate Wood Elves, but bye.